Imagine waking up in the morning, feeling a profound sense of calm, a quiet confidence that no matter what the day brings, you can handle it with ease. Picture starting your day not with racing thoughts or worries, but with a mind so steady, so grounded, that even life's chaos feels like gentle ripples on a still pond. Can you see it? Can you feel it? What if this wasn't just a distant dream? What if this inner peace wasn't reserved for monks meditating in mountain caves, but was something you could build, right here, right now, in your everyday life? The teachings of Buddhism hold the keys to this transformative peace, and they aren't as mystical or out of reach as you might think. These teachings aren't about perfection or erasing emotions. Life will always have challenges, and emotions will always rise. But what Buddhism offers is a way to navigate those challenges, not with frustration or fear, but with wisdom, grace, and acceptance. It's not about escaping reality. It's about seeing it clearly, embracing it fully, and learning to respond rather than react. Imagine living with a heart full of compassion and a mind rooted in clarity. That's what Buddhist Secrets can teach us, not through memorizing ancient texts, but by reshaping how we approach each moment, each situation, and each person we meet. So, let me ask you, are you ready to let go of what's holding you back? Are you ready to transform your life, not by changing what's around you, but by changing what's within? Today, we'll uncover the steps, the mindset, and the practices that can take you there. Together, let's unlock the Buddhist secret to unshakable peace. This isn't just knowledge, it's a way of life. True peace is not about controlling the chaos around you. It's not about avoiding the challenges life throws at you or numbing yourself to the pain you feel. Peace is something deeper, something far more profound. It's about creating a sanctuary within yourself, a sacred, untouchable space where no insult, no setback, no storm can shake your foundation. The Buddha captured this idea beautifully when he said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." Let that sink in for a moment. How often do we let someone else's hurtful words or careless actions linger in our minds, replaying them over and over, long after they've moved on? We carry that anger, that pain, as if holding it tightly could somehow make things right. But the truth is, the only person suffering is us. True peace begins when we stop clinging to the things that harm us, when we let go of the anger, the resentment, and the need to control. This isn't about pretending you don't feel hurt or acting like you're above it all. It's about recognizing that you have a choice. You don't have to be a prisoner to your emotions. Through mindfulness, you can observe those emotions without being consumed by them. You can notice the anger rising, acknowledge it, and let it pass, like a cloud drifting across the sky. This practice doesn't erase your emotions. It frees you from being controlled by them. Imagine how much lighter your heart would feel if you let go of what's weighing it down. Imagine how much strength you'd gain by choosing to respond with clarity and wisdom instead of reacting in frustration or pain. That's the power of inner peace, and it's a gift you can give yourself every day. This is the Buddhist secret. Peace isn't something you find out there. It's something you create within. When someone insults you or treats you unfairly, it's natural to feel hurt, even angry. We've all been there, hearing words that cut deep or experiencing actions that seem unjust. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, why does this hurt so much? Why do their words, their actions, have so much power over you? Often, the sting we feel doesn't come from the insult itself. It comes from within, from our own insecurities, fears, or unresolved pain. It's as if the words they've spoken find a crack in our armor, a place where we've already been wounded. Buddhism teaches us something profound about anger. Anger doesn't hurt the person it's aimed at, nearly as much as it harms the person holding on to it. Think of it this way. If you pick up a burning coal, planning to throw it at someone, who gets burned first? You do. Holding on to anger is like holding that burning coal, convincing yourself that your suffering is somehow justified. But what does it really accomplish? Does it make the pain go away? Does it heal the wound? No, it only deepens it. Letting go of anger doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending you're not hurt. It's not about suppressing your emotions or acting like nothing affects you. Letting go means taking a step back and truly understanding where your feelings are coming from. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose. Choose whether to let those emotions consume you or to respond with clarity and strength. Mindfulness is the key. When you feel anger rising, don't let it take over. Pause. Take a deep breath. Acknowledge what you're feeling without judgment. Notice the sensation of anger, where it sits in your body, and then allow it to pass, just like a wave recedes back into the ocean. This small act of awareness, this moment of pause, can transform everything. Instead of reacting with frustration or lashing out, you can respond thoughtfully, with wisdom and intention. Imagine how different life could feel if you no longer carried the weight of anger or resentment. Imagine being free from the burning coal you've held onto for so long. That freedom, that release, is one of Buddhism's most powerful secrets. It's not about changing others. It's about changing the way you handle what life brings your way. That is where true strength lies. Every person you encounter in life, whether they uplift you with kindness or frustrate you with cruelty, has the potential to be your teacher. This might sound strange at first. How can someone who hurts or annoys you possibly teach you anything valuable? But if you look closely, you'll see the truth in this idea. When someone is kind, they teach us gratitude. Their warmth and generosity remind us of the good in the world, and they give us an opportunity to appreciate it. On the other hand, when someone is unkind or hurtful, they reveal something deeper. They show us the areas where we need to grow, whether it's in patience, understanding, or self-control. Think back to the last time someone upset you. Maybe it was a harsh word, a dismissive comment, or even outright cruelty. Instead of focusing on their behavior and spiraling into anger or frustration, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Perhaps their actions are reminding you to let go of control, to release your attachment to how others should behave. Perhaps they're testing your ability to remain calm in the face of conflict. When we shift our perspective in this way, we stop seeing others as adversaries or obstacles. Instead, we see them as mirrors, reflecting the parts of ourselves that need attention and growth. This shift doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or accepting harm. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about choosing how you respond. Viewing others as teachers keeps us humble. It reminds us that we don't have all the answers, and that every interaction, no matter how challenging, can offer us wisdom. It also deepens our compassion. When we try to understand why someone acts a certain way, we often realize their behavior stems from their own struggles or pain. This realization doesn't justify harm, but it helps us respond with empathy rather than resentment. Imagine approaching life with this mindset. Instead of being constantly frustrated by others, you could see every encounter as an opportunity to grow. The impatient driver who cuts you off becomes a lesson in letting go. The coworker who speaks rudely to you becomes a chance to practice kindness, even in the face of negativity. This perspective transforms your interactions and, more importantly, transforms you. It helps you build resilience, patience, and a deep sense of inner peace. And that, at its core, is the Buddhist secret. Every person you meet is part of your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. Will you accept the lesson? Will you embrace the growth? That choice is always yours. Envy is one of those emotions we rarely like to admit feeling. It sneaks in quietly, often disguised as frustration or sadness, when we see someone else achieving something we want for ourselves. It whispers lies, making us feel inadequate or unworthy, as though someone else's success somehow diminishes our own value. But what if envy isn't the enemy we think it is? What if, instead of letting it make us feel small, we could transform it into a powerful tool for personal growth? When you feel envy creeping in, pause and take a closer look. Ask yourself, what is this feeling really telling me? Often, Envy points directly to the things we value most, but haven't yet achieved. It's a signal, a guide, that can show us where we want to grow. Instead of focusing on what someone else has that you don't, shift your mindset. Think about the person you're envying. What is it about them that you admire? Is it their discipline, their creativity, their courage to take risks? What qualities do they have that inspire you? Once you identify those traits, ask yourself the real question: how can I cultivate those same qualities in my own life? This shift in perspective is transformative. Envy stops being a source of negativity and becomes a motivator, a reminder that growth is possible. It's not about copying someone else's path or achievements. It's about using their success as a mirror to reflect the potential within you. Remember, everyone's journey is different. You don't know the struggles, sacrifices, or setbacks they faced to get where they are. Comparing yourself to them is like comparing the beginning of your story to the middle of theirs. It's unfair, and it only feeds the cycle of dissatisfaction. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Did you make progress? Did you take even the smallest step forward? Celebrate that, because growth, no matter how small, is still growth. Imagine living your life with this mindset. Instead of being weighed down by envy, you're lifted up by inspiration. Instead of seeing someone else's success as a threat, you see it as proof of what's possible. This is one of Buddhism's most beautiful secrets. The things that challenge us, like envy, can be our greatest teachers if we're willing to learn from them. So the next time you feel envy, don't push it away or let it consume you. Use it. Let it guide you to the areas in your life where you want to grow. Let it remind you of the power within you to become your best self, one step at a time. Buddhism offers a powerful yet simple principle. Hold yourself to high standards, but extend tolerance and understanding to others. This balance is essential for a peaceful and meaningful life. It's not always easy to achieve, but when you do, it transforms the way you grow and connect with the world around you. When we're too lenient with ourselves, we stop growing. We settle into comfort zones and let potential opportunities for improvement slip by. On the other hand, when we're overly critical of others, we harm our relationships. Harsh judgment pushes people away, creates unnecessary tension, and leaves us feeling isolated. True wisdom lies in finding the middle ground, knowing when to push yourself harder and when to let go of judgment for others. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of personal growth. It's what drives us to become the best versions of ourselves. But self-discipline without compassion can turn into self-punishment. When you make a mistake, don't berate yourself. Instead, ask, what can I learn from this? Mistakes are not failures. They're opportunities to grow. Acknowledge what happened, take responsibility, and move forward with intention. Extending that same understanding to others is equally important. People are on their own unique journeys, carrying struggles you may never see or understand. When someone falls short, whether it's a mistake, a moment of anger, or a lack of effort, try to approach them with empathy. Your compassion can make a profound difference, not just in how they feel, but in how you feel as well. Letting go of judgment releases the emotional weight it carries. This practice of balancing discipline with compassion doesn't mean lowering your standards or excusing harmful behavior. It means recognizing that growth, whether in yourself or others, takes time. Perfection isn't the goal, progress is. Imagine how life could change if you approached every mistake, yours or someone else's, as a chance to learn instead of an opportunity to criticize. Picture the relationships you'd build and the peace you'd find within yourself. This is the Buddhist secret. By holding yourself accountable with kindness and showing others patience, you create harmony, both inward and outward. In the end, you don't have to choose between self-improvement and compassion for others. They're two sides of the same coin, working together to create a life of growth, connection, and peace. This balance is the foundation of a truly fulfilling existence. The question is, are you ready to embrace it? Life is full of uncertainties. No matter how carefully we plan or how much we prepare, things don't always unfold the way we expect. Challenges arise, setbacks happen, and the road ahead often twists in ways we couldn't foresee. The sooner we come to terms with this reality, the less we'll suffer. Because here's the truth. Resisting what is only creates more tension. The more we fight against reality, the more trapped we become in frustration and despair. Acceptance, however, is not the same as giving up. It's not about resigning yourself to defeat or passively allowing life to happen to you. Acceptance is about seeing things clearly, acknowledging the situation for what it is, and then choosing how to move forward. For example, when you face a challenge, you have two options: dwell on how unfair it feels, or focus on what you can do to change, adapt, or grow from it. Only one of those paths leads to progress and peace. Buddhism teaches us that suffering often comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When we cling to the idea that life should be a certain way, we create unnecessary pain. But when we let go of those rigid expectations, we open ourselves to new possibilities, new solutions, and even new strengths we didn't know we had. Self-acceptance is just as vital as accepting the world around us. We all have flaws. We all make mistakes. These imperfections don't make us unworthy. They make us human. Yet so often, we are our harshest critics, punishing ourselves for not being good enough or for falling short of unrealistic standards. But what if, instead of criticizing ourselves, we chose kindness? What if we embraced our imperfections as part of our unique journey? Living authentically means accepting every part of yourself, the strengths, the weaknesses, the triumphs, and the failures. It means understanding that mistakes are not the end of the road. They're stepping stones. Every misstep is a lesson, and every lesson brings growth. Imagine the freedom of letting go of resistance, both toward the world and yourself. Picture facing life's challenges with clarity and strength, unburdened by the weight of unrealistic expectations. This is the Buddhist secret. Acceptance is not weakness. It is power. The power to face life as it is, to grow from its lessons, and to find peace, even in the unpredictable. So the next time life surprises you, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What now?" You may be amazed at what you discover. Buddhism teaches us to live in harmony with nature, not just as an external environment, but as a reflection of the truths that shape our own lives. Nature is a profound teacher, showing us the cycles of growth, decay, and renewal that define all existence. When we truly observe the natural world, we begin to understand the essence of impermanence and the art of adaptability. Think about a tree in the midst of a storm. Its branches sway and bend under the pressure of the wind, but it doesn't break. It adapts to the forces around it, yielding when necessary while remaining rooted in its foundation. This resilience, this quiet strength, mirrors the balance we can cultivate in our own lives. Life will challenge us. Storms will come. But if we learn to bend instead of resist, we can endure and thrive. Or consider the steady flow of a river carving its path through stone. The water doesn't fight against the obstacles in its way. It flows around them, finding its course with patience and persistence. Over time, it shapes even the hardest rock. The river teaches us that flexibility, paired with steady effort, can overcome the toughest challenges. Spending time in nature isn't just a retreat from the noise of modern life. It's an opportunity to reconnect with these rhythms and lessons. Watch the changing seasons, the vibrant growth of spring, the fullness of summer, the letting go in autumn, and the quiet stillness of winter. Each phase holds a lesson. Spring teaches us about renewal and fresh starts. Autumn reminds us to release what no longer serves us. Winter invites us to rest and reflect. By aligning ourselves with these natural rhythms, we learn to live more harmoniously, not only with the world, but also within ourselves. Nature teaches us patience. It reminds us that growth takes time, that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning, and that nothing remains static. Imagine standing barefoot on the earth, feeling the cool grass under your feet, the warmth of the sun on your skin, or the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. In those moments, you are part of something vast and interconnected. You are reminded that, like the trees, rivers, and seasons, you too have the strength to adapt, to endure, and to grow. This is the Buddhist secret. By observing and embracing the wisdom of nature, we discover how to flow with life's challenges instead of fighting against them. We find resilience in the face of change, peace in the face of uncertainty, and a deeper connection to the world around us. So take a step outside, breathe, watch, and let nature guide you back to yourself. Gratitude is far more than a polite thank you or a fleeting acknowledgement of something good. It's a mindset, a way of seeing the world that transforms even the simplest moments into sources of joy and strength. It's about noticing the small, often overlooked blessings that surround us every day. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the comfort of a shared smile, the steady rhythm of your own breath. In the chaos of life, it's easy to lose sight of these moments. Our attention is pulled in so many directions, toward challenges, deadlines, worries, that we forget to pause and appreciate what's already here. But gratitude is like an anchor. When life feels overwhelming, when it feels like you're being tossed by the waves, gratitude grounds you. It brings you back to the present, reminding you that even amidst difficulty, there is something to hold on to. Think about the last time you faced a hard day. Maybe things felt unfair, or you were weighed down by stress or disappointment. In moments like those, it's easy to focus only on what's wrong. But what if, instead, you paused and asked yourself, what is still good in this moment? Maybe it's the support of a friend, the comfort of your favorite song, or simply the fact that you've made it through another day. Gratitude shifts your perspective, turning the focus away from what's missing and toward what's already present. This isn't about denying the difficulties of life. Buddhism teaches us to embrace reality fully, not to sugarcoat it or pretend problems don't exist. But gratitude helps us see the bigger picture. It softens the edges of hardship and reminds us that life is never entirely dark. Even in the most challenging times, there are small lights if we're willing to look for them. Practicing gratitude doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as starting your day with a single thought. What am I thankful for right now? It could be your morning coffee, the laugh of a child, or the peaceful silence before the world wakes up. At the end of the day, reflect on the moments that brought you joy or comfort, no matter how small. Write them down if you can. Over time, these small acts of gratitude build a foundation of positivity and resilience. Gratitude doesn't just change how you see your life, it changes how you live it. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you cultivate contentment. You find joy in the present moment instead of waiting for some future ideal. And as you radiate that sense of appreciation, it spreads to those around you, creating a ripple effect of positivity and connection. This is the Buddhist secret. Gratitude isn't just a reaction to something good. It's a choice. It's a way of being that transforms not just your perspective, but your entire experience of life. So take a moment, right now, breathe deeply, look around, and ask yourself, what am I grateful for in this very moment? You might be surprised at how much beauty is already there, waiting for you to notice it. We often spend so much of our time and energy trying to control the outcomes of our lives. We plan, we strategize, and we cling tightly to our expectations, convinced that if we just try hard enough, we can shape everything to fit our vision. But life doesn't work that way. Life, like a river, flows on its own path. It's powerful, unpredictable, and often beyond our control. When we fight against its current, we exhaust ourselves, battling forces far greater than us. But when we let go, when we trust the flow, we find ease, freedom, and a surprising sense of peace. Letting go isn't about giving up. It doesn't mean abandoning your dreams or goals. Instead, it means releasing your attachment to specific outcomes. It means doing your best and trusting that things will unfold as they're meant to. This trust isn't a passive surrender. It's an active choice to stop resisting what you cannot change and to embrace the present moment fully. Think about the last time you were deeply frustrated because something didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a missed opportunity, a failed project, or a relationship that didn't work out. How much of your suffering came not from the situation itself, but from your resistance to it? This isn't how it was supposed to be. Thoughts, the clinging to what could have been, only added to your pain. Buddhism teaches us that this attachment, this need for things to be a certain way, is the root of much of our suffering. But letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop grasping. You stop trying to force life into a mold of your own design, and instead allow it to unfold naturally. You can practice this mindset with small, intentional steps. Start with affirmations like, "I trust the process of life," or "I release my need to control everything." Say them to yourself when you feel resistance rising. Over time, these words become a reminder, a guide to help you navigate life's unpredictable currents. Imagine the peace you could feel if you stopped clenching so tightly. Picture yourself flowing with life's twists and turns instead of fighting against them. You'd have more energy, more clarity, and more space to appreciate the present moment. This is the Buddhist secret. True peace doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from embracing it. It comes from trusting that while you may not control the river, you can always adjust your sails. And in doing so, you'll find that the journey itself, not the destination, is where life's true beauty lies. So take a deep breath, release your grip, and let the river carry you. You might just discover a freedom you never imagined. Buddhism teaches that ethical living doesn't begin with grand gestures or public declarations. It starts quietly, in the private corners of our minds. Every action we take begins as a thought, and when our thoughts are rooted in kindness, honesty, and compassion, our actions naturally reflect those values. Ethical living is not just about what we do, it's about who we are at our core. Consider the power of a single thought. When you harbor thoughts of anger, jealousy, or deceit, they don't just stay in your mind. They shape your words, your actions, and even your energy. These negative thoughts ripple outward, affecting not only your own peace, but also the lives of those around you. Conversely, when your thoughts are kind and honest, they create harmony within you. They guide your actions in a way that fosters trust, respect, and connection with others. Buddhism calls us to live with integrity, and that means avoiding actions that harm others, lying, stealing, or reacting out of anger. These behaviors may seem small or insignificant in the moment, but they disturb something far greater, your inner peace. Every time you act against your own moral compass, you create conflict within yourself. The guilt, regret, or tension that follows doesn't just disappear, it lingers, pulling you further from the calm and balance you seek. Living ethically is not about perfection or self-righteousness. It's about aligning your actions with your values, even when no one is watching. It's about being truthful, even when a lie seems easier. It's about choosing kindness, even when anger feels justified. And it's about taking responsibility for the impact your choices have on others and on yourself. Imagine the freedom that comes with living this way. When your thoughts and actions are aligned with integrity, you don't have to carry the weight of guilt or the fear of being caught. You don't have to second-guess yourself or justify actions you know were wrong. Instead, you move through life with a sense of clarity and peace, knowing you've done your best to live in harmony with your values. This is the Buddhist secret. Ethical living isn't a burden. It's a path to freedom. It frees you from the inner turmoil that comes from acting against your conscience. It strengthens your relationships as others come to trust and respect your honesty and kindness. And most importantly, it nurtures your own inner peace, creating a foundation of calm and strength that no external force can shake. So the next time you're faced with a choice, pause. Reflect on your thoughts. Ask yourself, does this align with the person I want to be? Let your values guide you, because in the end, ethical living isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. And when you live with integrity, you don't just create a better world for others, you create a better world within yourself. The real secret to unshakable peace isn't found in a single moment of enlightenment or in a perfect, trouble-free life. It lies in something far more profound, the daily, intentional integration of principles that ground and strengthen you. Mindfulness, gratitude, ethical living. These aren't just abstract ideas or occasional practices. They are habits, choices we make each day, and together they form the foundation for a life of true inner peace. True peace doesn't come from avoiding challenges or waiting for the storm to pass. It comes from learning to face those storms with grace and resilience. It's about finding the strength to dance in the rain instead of letting it drown you. Life will always have its difficulties, moments of frustration, heartbreak, and uncertainty. But when you cultivate these principles in your daily life, you build a sanctuary within yourself that no storm can destroy. Mindfulness teaches you to be present, to truly see the world as it is, without judgment. It allows you to embrace each moment, whether it's joyful or challenging, with clarity and calm. Gratitude shifts your focus, reminding you of the abundance in your life, even during hard times. It's not about ignoring pain. It's about seeing the beauty and light that still exist alongside it. Ethical living aligns your actions with your values, creating harmony both within yourself and in your relationships with others. These practices aren't about perfection. They're about progress, choosing, day by day, to live with intention. Over time, they become second nature, shaping the way you experience the world. And as they take root, you'll find that your sense of peace no longer depends on external circumstances. It comes from within you, steady and unshakable. The most beautiful part of this journey is that everything you need is already within you. The power to transform your life, to rise above fear and frustration, has been there all along. It's not something you have to search for in the world outside. It's something you choose to cultivate within yourself. So, are you ready to embrace this truth? Are you ready to take the first step toward building the kind of peace that can weather any storm? The journey begins with a single decision: to commit to these principles, to live intentionally, and to trust in your ability to grow. Life may not get easier, but you will become stronger. And that strength, that unshakable calm, will be your greatest gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. The time to begin is now. The path is yours to take.